experiences. There's something I have that you don't have. There's something that you have that I don't have. So I'm hoping that today we are not just going to learn, but we can expand our network.
Tonight I'm going to be pushing you a little bit into entrepreneurship because I believe in it. Why do you need to be a business person, or why do you need to go into business? And what are the signs and symptoms that you find in yourselves or you watch out for you to actually know, oh, business is good for me? Because business is not good for everyone. But I can say that with the right coaching, if you have it in mind, if you have a passion, or you have a gift, you know you can begin to make something great with it. Briefly, what is entrepreneurship? The willingness to take risk. So there are some risk averse, those that don't want to go into risk at all. They just want to wake up in the morning, be sure that my salary is coming in at the end of the month, so I have something I can calculate, isn't it? Many of us fall into that category. But we normally pray, we wish, we desire financial buoyancy or breakthrough, but we are not willing to take the steps towards that. Entrepreneurship is just the willingness. So when you celebrate people, when you celebrate business people, these are people that are taking the risk. They are not magicians. They are not extraordinary people. They are just people like you and I.
When we sell, the most obvious thing that we do is tell people what we do, okay? That's the very easy thing. We know that. It's in our heart. We know what we do. The next thing we may tell them is how we do it. So that's, if any of you have heard of your USP, your unique selling proposition, what makes you different to everybody else? That's the how. And then at that point, you'll probably ask them to buy from you. It's very standard, and if any of you have been sold to, which you all will have done at some point, you'll recognise this person bombarding you with what they do, how they do it, now will you buy? That's a very standard way that we sell to people. There's a better way to do this. Simon Sinek calls this the golden circle. I always think there's no point reinventing the wheel if you see something you really like and it makes sense. So the idea of the golden circle is, when you meet someone who sells to you normally, they'll start with the what. It's the biggest circle, it's the easiest thing to talk about, and it's what you do. Then they might tell you about the how, as I said, your unique selling proposition. But very often what they don't do is talk about the why. And this is the most important ingredient for successful selling, is the why.
Hi guys, so we're at the CTN event today, specifically dealing with entrepreneurship, and today I've got with me Julie White. So I did hear you speak up there. She was actually on Dragon's Den as well, and you've got your own successful business as well. So I just wanted to know if you could give people 3 pointers on how to be successful in the business industry. You were specifically talking about sales. What would they be?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. So yeah, it was very much about understanding your why. So why you do, what your passions are. It's really, really important, because that's then your solution you provide to your potential clients. The second thing is to identify your ideal client. So actually you're not going to sell to everyone. So understand what they look like and who you want to sell to, and what their why is. So what's their pain, what's their challenge that you can then solve.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you. As you all know, we're at the CTN event today, specifically dealing with entrepreneurship. So I just wanted to know why you've come here today and what you wanted to achieve.
Okay, thank you. So my name's Dio, but my pen name is called Dosu, as you can see on the book. So I'm here, like one of the speakers was saying today, why did I do this? So I wrote a book because when I was growing up in Nigeria, I used to read quite a lot of Mills and Boons, and I grew up loving that. And nowadays I see that loads of people are more into Instagram. I am as well. Facebook and all that. They don't read as much as they used to. So this book, Rosie, A Trip Down Memory Lane, it's kind of an African flavor. and it's got African flavor. It teaches you about, instead of saying to you, as a single girl, don't do this, as a married woman, don't do this. In the story, it's all wrapped up into that, and it tells you what not to do and what not to do. And it's quite a lot of, you know, boy meets girl and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's what this is about.
So would you say from the two speakers that we've had so far, you've definitely learned something or picked up a few points?
Look, I've only got 3 books left because I was telling people my why, and people are really interested, and they're happy to go for it, to buy it and see what this is all about and see what the hype is about. Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Very much. Thank you.
Business and life is very, very hard, but you mustn't give up. Whilst I was running all this business, a lot of people told me that I couldn't do it. I remember going to a business advisor when my business was going completely down, and he said to me, do you know what, mate, just close the business. And I looked at him and I said, yeah, really, close the business? I said, there's no way, because I started a business, I'm in the middle. I started in the beginning, I'm in the middle, so what do? Do I go back if I'm in the middle of the sea? Do I drown? Do I go back? Do I keep swimming? And when you Google my name and you Google who I am, you will see that, wow, is that the same lady that is talking? We have to be very strong in our business. We have to be ready for tsunamis, because let me tell you something, I've been through some tsunamis. I'm standing here today, Isaac knows me quite well. I've been through some stuff. But at the same time, it's been rewarding.
We've listened to the entrepreneur, the push. We've listened to the why. We've listened to how to get fund. But all of this can't be possible without somebody like me standing here. You definitely need the accountant. And you know the most interesting part of my job is that I tell people how to spend their money. From what the previous speakers have been talking about, one thing that is very important that we all need to take note is that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Yeah. And that's why we've got people talking about risk and all those stuff. And when you're trying to go into business, what is very important is what they call cost, risk, benefit analysis. If you do all those stuff, you'll be able to know where you stand.
3 types of people you cannot lie to. If you, actually you're talking about your doctor, you can't lie to your doctor. You can't lie to your lawyer, because if you don't tell him the truth, he won't be able to help you. Then the third person is your accountant. Yeah, because without knowing your financial situation and all those stuff, I won't be able to help you.
So we've had a lot of people talk about how your story has inspired them to continue on with their business. So here for the camera, could you just give us 3 tips on what you think makes a successful business?
3 tips. Definitely it's got to be perseverance, determination, and believing in yourself. Definitely.
I would say number 1, identify your passion. Number 2, get trained on your passion. Number 3, pursue it.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Very grateful. Thank you very much for me. Thank you for coming.
You've done very, very well. I'm really impressed and I appreciate everything you've done.
Okay, so we've just finished from your event today. Do you just want to introduce yourself to everyone?
My name is Isaac Josiah Ukelele. I'm the director of CTN, Community Trust Network, and we are the hosts. We put this program together.
Okay, so how do you feel overall your event went?
But given that today is our first event, and the attenders, the sort of people who came in I'm sincerely grateful for all these speakers. I mean, our first speakers came, which is a plus. Our sponsors came, and the attendance was fantastic. We expected 50 people, but we got more than 50 people. So for the first event, I think we have achieved more than what we thought that we can achieve. And I'm really, really grateful. You could see it in me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Thank you very much for speaking with us today.
But thank you as well. When you are doing what you are doing, you are behind the scene. And to Blessing as well, they don't see her, so people don't know what she has done. But I think without people like you, without people who have helped me as well, I don't think I would have been able to achieve it alone. There were people who brought suggestions, who brought ideas, and I worked on those ideas. People who behind the scene did all the work. I am taking the praise for it, but it was not all my idea. It was not all my hard work. People helped me, and I'm very, very grateful for every of you who helped me through. Thank you.